Hi, and huge welcome to this presentation about water, about entrepreneurship, about how we can combine that with actually making a positive impact on multiple levels of people's lives. Because, yeah, my name is Monica, for those who are watching afterwards in the replay. And I've been working with this for over 6 years, almost 7 years now, and just seen these amazing positive changes in people's lives. And honestly, that is what I'm passionate about, to make real change, both in people's health, in people's also vision of what they think is possible for themselves, to actually let people step into more leadership, let them step into a better version of their lives and themselves, so that we ultimately, one person, one family at a time can actually make the world better as well. But I will talk a bit more about that in a minute. I will just share my screen. Let me see. Mm, 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 mm. So, yeah, positive impact, the power of water, EMF protection, and conscious entrepreneurs, and how important that is to actually create what I call a sovereign life, meaning that on many levels in your life, you're independent, you are whole, you're healthy, and you are thriving. And that is how it's supposed to be in my world. We're not supposed to just take out fires all the time, to feel stressed, to have bad health and not feel like we're actually doing what we're here to do. We're meant to actually thrive and be happy and support each other to live the life that we really want. So, just a little bit more about me. This is me and my husband, Christopher. And like I said, we started this 6 years ago. My husband was in the transport industry. He was working endless hours. He would like go up early in the morning, come home late in the evening. I was working as a teacher in the early ages. And I just, felt this great kind of pain and panic of leaving my small kids who were like, I think my daughter was just 1 year at the time, and my son was about 4 years old. And I was leaving them early in the morning, like 7 o'clock at preschool, and like sometimes picking them up at 5 o'clock. I almost get tears in my eyes talking about it. Like it's so painful, these very important years in their lives, and I was giving them away to someone else. And it just came to this line in the sand moment. We were both, me and my husband, were like, okay, we did it all. I did the education. We did we had lots of money, like a villa, the cars, everything, but we had no time. We didn't have our life. So when we found this, we both saw it from a health perspective, that we were already aware about our water. We had both had health challenges in the past that we had to move through, and we didn't get help from the ordinary healthcare system. I'd had Lyme's disease, I'd had, pain from different injuries I had, and also like we were close to burnout, both of us. And when we saw this water, we saw that, okay, this does everything you need to water, and you just put it in your kitchen and that's it. So it was based on something that we believed in. And then we saw the business model where we were used to having employees. We were used to like working really hard, like doing all the stuff, wearing all the hats. And when we saw this, it was like one, 2/3 of everything was eradicated. And then you made lots of money. And of course, money is not a thing just by itself, but it makes it possible. For us, it made it possible to be with our kids. I could quit my job after a year. We could travel the world. Like this is us in Yosemite National Park in the US, and at events around the world. And we created our own events in the end, bringing people from all around the world that are like-minded people who want to create another path for themselves, and also want to create just health, wealth and more freedom and sovereignty, basically. So that's a little bit about us. And yes, my husband and my son, they ride motocross. And yeah, my husband is actually right now doing a big race. I don't understand it. He's going to dig himself down into the mud and like do this enduro race, but that's his passion and he gets to do that, which I'm so happy that he gets to do. So, what does it mean to make a positive impact? That's something I've been passionate about like my whole life. And I would do like work without money. I would like do all these good things in international organizations and this and that. There was never any money. You were waiting for financing, you were hoping and praying. And then in the end, I was like, well, let's just take matters in our own hands and do something good so we can put good money into good people's hands and actually implement this big vision. So this is my vision. Of course, yours is yours, whatever that is. But for me, I want to create examples of how we can live in a good way across the world. We're starting here. Today, we're living on a farm in southern Sweden where we're building an eco-village health clinic and actually doing the things that I envisioned or I just was dreaming about 6 years ago. And so I want to build up the positive, build up what we want to create in the world. And right now, I've through the time also that I got through the money that we created, the finances we created through this model, I've been able to start World Freedom Alliance, an international movement and organization present in over 50 countries across the world, protecting fundamental rights and freedoms. I've been a part of starting up international water awareness to spread more awareness about the problems with our water and also work with top level scientists across the world to bring these matters up. And also, I've been a part of starting up New Earth Horizon, which is a huge movement where, or a network of people creating both universities and examples. And we've had big international hearings about different problems in the world. And so I've done a lot of engagement in international matters. And basically, what it boils down to for me is that we have the responsibility to make sure that our children, the land, and men and women are safe, thriving, and happy. And it sounds very simple, right? But somehow we kind of forgot that very simple thing that should be kind of on top of our agenda. So that is a bit about me and my vision. And also through this kind of international movement that we're a part of, I've really been challenged to dream bigger and not just be like, oh, I'm just happy to have a job and like toddle along. It's like to really ask yourself and challenge yourself, what is your big vision? Why aren't you doing it? It's not about you, it's about the whole world. They need you. You need to step into that to be so that the world gets better and better. Yeah, that's about that. And this you can just, I need to do for compliance sake. We are in Enagic independent distributors, and we don't promise anything. It's basically what this text says. You can pause it, you can read it, but this is just examples that we give you. Of course, this all takes your own responsibility and it takes your own engagement to actually create results or create any kind of health results or financial results. So why are we doing this? Because there's so much out there, right? There's so much promises and this and that out there. But when we saw this, also me and my husband, we had been looking at many different things and we'd also been kind of scammed so many times where we thought we could believe in something. I think we probably lost around like 50,000 euros on different crypto whatever because we were like, oh, that's our way out. Like that's a simple way out. Like usually there's no simple way out. There is a good long-term plan way out. And that's what we saw here because we saw something that solves real problems in real people's lives and has a positive impact for people and the world. It's stable and long lasting. It's actually 50-year-old, this company, over 50 years old, and it really stands the test of time. It's already been tested over and over during these years. It's scalable and automated so that you can actually get your time back because if you have lots of money but no time like we had, like what is that worth? How can you actually do the things that matter to you? So we want that scalability and automation for it to actually not have to be a hands-on business all the time. And you need something that also rewards you highly financially, not, some kind of potion lotion MLM where you need to get like 300 customers. You're like, need to whip your back to get anywhere and then you can lose it anytime. Like, this is not that at all. These are super high returns and commissions that you get back. So, meaning that if you just have one or two customers per month, you're growing your business very, very well. And a lot is done for you. Like I said, you don't have to invent the products. You don't have to, figure out how to reach out to people. You don't need to like wear all the hats. This is a ready-made model like a franchise, like, you know, Wayne's Coffee or whatever, where you just get to tap into that and then learn the steps and implement. And there is a lot of support for you. Of course, no one can do it for you, but you will get the tools and the support to be able to do it. So there are lots of mentorships, educations, and also highly successful millionaire mentors. One of them is coming on to our event in Stockholm that we're having this Saturday. We have a one-day event where many of you are coming. And Clint X Morgan, who is from Australia, he's going to be speaking there. And he like makes millions per year. So he doesn't have to help anyone else, but he's also passionate about the same thing. So he's now mentoring and helping others, and he's helping us directly to also succeed because that's how we work in this business. And basically, it is more of a like personal development movement as well, where you get support to actually realize your visions and goals and make the step-by-step plan to actually reach them. So, what are the problems that we're facing then? What do we want to solve? Because if you have a good business, you solve people's problems, right? So, the more I support people to solve their problems, the more I'm rewarded through Enagic. And if you want to solve today's problems, you need new solutions, right? We can't just run around and just run faster and think that that will solve the problem. So, what problems are we facing physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, also spiritually? Because a lot of people today, especially, I read a study about Sweden, half of the people that are on sick leave, they're mentally burned out, or it's like psychological problems. It's a huge thing because we're just pressing and stressing in a way that is not kind of human even, and the pressure also because of the inflation and the financial tools that we have that are actually suppressing us and pressuring us more and more makes it unsustainable, the system that we're in. So we need to, take a step back and change the system, the way we're making a living, the way we're working together. And the lasting health and wealth is achieved when you find balance on all of these levels. That's what I believe. That's when I talk about different areas of your life or different levels of your life. These are the different areas that I'm talking about. And I'd like to just touch on Maslow's theory. It's like one of the basic psychological theories. I've actually studied this and researched it in the past. I was working as a coach for many years. It's another long story. But I was working with a professor in Stockholm that actually studied this theory, and a lot of people are just stuck on the bottom, like to just get their basic needs met of like paying the bills, getting the food, the clothes, like getting like all the different moving pieces together, right? And if you're stuck there, you can't really move to the next level where you feel that you're actually having an impact in the world, where you feel meaning in your life, where in the end you get the self-actualization, where you get like peace and fulfillment and contribution, where you get to give back to the world. So when people are stuck down at this bottom, it's very hard to experience the fullness of your life, right? So that's why also the financial aspect of what we do in this movement is also super important. So a little bit more about who we have chosen to align with. So the company we work with is called Enagic. It's over 50 years old. It actually had its 50th anniversary last year, and it's based on water ionization. It's also moving into different areas, such as radiation protection, and they have really strong values of eradicating your homes and your life of toxins and radiation, and also strengthening people financially so that you can get more time independence and more freedom. And they have the highest certifications during these years. They've got the gold standard certification for the company, which means that they are debt free, they're family owned, so it's no like strange ownership involved. And they have even hundreds of years of business plans. In Japan, they're very proud. They have a long-term thinking, and they've also developed over the years offices around the world so that you get support from the nearest office. And when you work with Enagic as an independent distributor, you can work all over the world. So there's no limit to where you can be, which is why there's like a large bunch of our community that are just like also young people traveling the world all over because they just have a laptop and they can work from anywhere, basically. Yes. And why do we choose Enagic? Like I said, there's so many things out there, right? Oh, sorry. Oh. So like I said, Enagic works with technology that removes toxins from your body, your environment, such as chemicals in our homes and in our water sources. Technology that reduces EMF pollution. You also counteract loneliness and lack of meaning through the support of our community. It's really, really important to not be alone. Like when I was an entrepreneur, you were alone with everything. And if you came across like some struggle of some kind, you just had to solve it yourself. Like here, I've been actually sitting today, uh, working on like my online automation, and I've had three calls, not today, but the previous days, with someone jumping on online with me, like telling me, click there, do that. Like I would never have taken myself through, all of that without that kind of support. And it's also the possibility to get out of financial stress and pressure. And it's also a stable company and long track record with the highest certifications. And where we get to work with making a huge positive impact in people's lives. So let's talk about the water, which is kind of the engine that we're working with. It's kind of the main thing that Enagic has developed over these 50 years, and also the awareness about the water that we need to address, like is really in the water. How important is water for our health? So our bodies consist of over 70% water, and a lot of people might, eat healthy, they work out, they manage their mindset, they think they're very aware, and then they haven't looked at the water. And why aren't we talking more about the quality of the water? Both that we drink, but also the water we bathe in and cook in, like all the kind of water we use is important here. And why is the quality of a water not a bigger part of the health conversation? So the water that we use and that we work with is called Kangen water. And Kangen water means back to the origin. And this is because the water is based on the qualities of some of the most powerful healing springs in the world. One of them is in Okinawa, Japan, where this all originated. And what these scientists that 50 years ago they started to analyze this healing spring where people would come and experience these very positive health effects. They found that this water both had a negative charge, it's ionized, it's structured, it's full of molecular hydrogen, and it's pure and clean. And we're going to go into what those properties mean and the effects that it has in the body. But first, we need to have some awareness about the water that you're drinking today and why it is not equal. Like all water is definitely not equal, it's not the same. So even though you've also cleared out the toxins from your water, that's not the end of the story. It's what I see now is that the awareness of our water is increasing, which is amazing. But people can get stuck on one of these different properties and not see the full spectrum of properties that need to be there for the water to really be optimal for our health. So you need to think about the toxicity in your water, of course, are the different um, chemicals from medical residues or from farmers or it comes from the air. There's so many toxins around, like moving into our water systems. You need to look at the pH level. Is it acid or is it alkaline? How does that affect our bodies? You need to look at the structure of the water because the structure makes it possible for the water to be absorbed in our cells or not. You look at the oxidative or antioxidant properties where oxidative stress is one of the main causes of a lot of root disease that we see today. And you need to look at the positive and negative charge in the water. So when we look at bottled water, for instance, it could have been standing on that shelf for over a year. We don't know exactly. So even though the first water source that you got the bottled water from would have been kind of good, just by it standing still for that long makes the makes it positively charged. It can also be full of microplastics. Some even add different chemicals to that water for some very strange reason. So I would not drink bottled water if you wouldn't really have to, at least not for a long time. And then there's tap or well water, where a lot of people, especially in Scandinavia, where I'm from, they think that, oh my God, we have such good water. Um, you know, let me see. Yeah, I'm just seeing a comment here. Oh, don't worry. Yeah, we are recording this if you need to leave. So anyway, so tap or well water. Unfortunately, it's not true. It's very hard to find water that are not contaminated with different chemicals. Even if you have rainwater, natural springs, well water, you can actually have chemicals coming from the air. It's different chemicals coming from farmers or pesticides, Also heavy metals. It can be very acidic. Like there are lots of different things that unfortunately it's very hard to find not just clean water, but also healthy water. And then you might think, but I distill my water or I clean my water, like I have a water filter. And that is a very good first step. And it's very important to clean your water from toxins. But the problem is that, especially if you over filtrate or if you distill the water, it still has a positive charge, which means the positive charge will actually take minerals and good things out of your body, and it causes oxidative stress, which is not good in the long run. And you don't have the healing properties of the water that we're going to talk about, which is created by negative charge, by molecular hydrogen structure, all of that. Those properties is something you can't find in distilled or just filtered water. So let's get into the different details of these properties. So first, just to address the different problems and chemicals that are in our water, this is something that I've actually tested myself. I worked with some water researchers around this, and a lot of them, they've been trying to warn people for a very long time, but it's usually their financial interest in this, and they don't want to, as long as the water looks good and doesn't stink and people don't complain too much, they don't do much about it, unfortunately. So tap and well water often contains thousands of harmful chemicals, and old pipes and water systems are rarely maintained properly. So this is just a picture from an ordinary pipe system. And they're even putting chemicals in the water so the pipes don't break, which is not good for our health. So what all of this treatment, there are plastics, microplastics in the water. There's so much plastic in our environment right now, so it's very hard to also come away from that. And all this bad treatment of the water means that water is no longer in its natural, healthy state. And when the water is not in a good state, of course, it's not good for our bodies. And remember, we're made of 70% water. So, what kind of problems do these toxins and bad water and stress and bad lifestyle cause? So, what a lot of people experience, and it's a base for so many different unnecessary health problems, is both dehydration, acidosis, and inflammation. So, dehydration means that if you still drink bad water, you can still be dehydrated because that water takes so much energy from your body and it's not in its optimal state, which means it would just go through your body and not into the cells. And it can create acidosis, which is a growing ground for diabetes or cancer, allergies, like so many, like gut problems, so many different things is based on acidosis or oxidative stress, which there's lots of research about. And then it also causes inflammation in the body, in the brain, in the joints, anywhere. Inflammation is actually the body's response to trying to clean out these toxins and to get that acidosis out of the body. But when there's too much load on the body, you can get these chronic inflammations that are very unnecessary. And oxidative stress today is a big problem, especially now also when there's so much radiation around us, which we'll talk about also. But oxidative stress is caused by stress, radiation, toxins, bad diet, positively charged and contaminated water. And it's a growing ground for many lifestyle diseases, such as bad immune system, allergies and asthma, inflammations in the body, such as aches and rheumatism, psychological disorders as well, and chronic fatigue. digestive problems, and poor nutrition uptake, and much more. And something that is very affected by bad water, and especially fluoride in the water, which is a huge problem, is the brain. And also the pineal gland in the brain is calcified by fluoride. So it means it doesn't function properly. So fluoride has a lot of research on it. It's actually a rat poison. It's very terrible. And it's in a lot of our water. And it's also yeah, as you know, it was a chemical waste product that they had to do something with, and it suppresses cognitive function. You can actually you see studies that it reduces the IQ, especially in children. It interferes with the endocrine system, it calcifies the pineal gland. And some people who are spiritual, they also say it's the pineal gland is our connection to the divine. So it actually shuts us off from that bigger part of ourselves, and also our emotions and hormones are not functioning properly. It can negatively impact thyroid function, and many researchers are raising concerns, and studies exist, but the voices are often not heard, like in so many places in our world. Um, so just moving on to the solution and the positive, the water is actually the driving force of all nature, something that Leonardo da Vinci said. And I think there was a lot more knowledge in the past, in the old days, that people would go to water sources. They would go to these, yeah, in Sweden, we had actually a name for it, that it was a practice to go to a spring and bathe and drink a good water. It was a health treatment that was accepted, and we kind of forgot the water, which is so crazy and strange when you think about it. So the solution that we work with is called Kangen water. It's a Kangen water machine. This is the K8, the level of K8 by Enagic, and it's a medical grade ionizing technique certified in Japan. And just that sentence is actually quite huge, because there are no other technology that has that kind of certification in the world. And you can look at enagiceu.com or enagic.com, and just they're very transparent. You can download the documents, you can view everything. So this medical grade ISO certified seal that they have is backed up by thousands of studies. It means that they've gone through rigorous testing during many years to really say that they are what they say, it does what they say that it does, and it also has multiple certifications on, you know, the Gold Standard Company, the Water Quality, Direct Selling Association for the Business Plan, the ethical values, and how they conduct their business, etc. So you can have a look at that on their homepage. But what the technology does is that it converts tap water into 5 different kinds of water. So not just drinking water, but water with different pH levels. And we're going to go into that. And it has a lot of different functions, everything from disinfecting to, the healing water, and then um, emulsifying. And so there are lots of different kinds of water here that this machine produces. And the machine purifies the tap water, it ionizes and structures the water, makes the water alkalized, not in a chemical way. So it's alkalized, not alkaline. It makes the water full of molecular hydrogen, which is one of the most powerful antioxidants that we have in our world today. So that means that it also has the healing properties in the water, that is backed up by a lot of science then. So let's dive into this. So the three unique properties that Kangen water has is that it becomes super hydrating for the body. It works as a powerful antioxidant in the body, and it works as an alkalizer. It reduces the um, acidity in the body that we talked about. So our bodies, like we said, consists of over 75% water, and actually the amount of water that we have, it's reduced as we grow old, which is kind of a thing to think about. Why? But here is just an example of the percentage of water that's in your brain, in your kidneys, skin, and lungs, and blood. And you can see that, of course, the water matters for all your main organs in your body, especially the brain and the blood. Like the brain is very easily affected if you're dehydrated. You can get a lot of psychological problems as well, and chronic fatigue, all of these kind of things, just by a little percentage of dehydration. And then the blood is mostly made out of water, and the blood is very sensitive to dehydration. It's also very sensitive to pH levels. So if you're constantly in this acidic mode in your body by all the stress and radiation and all of that, the blood will not work properly, and then it cannot, take nutrition and oxygen into your cells, and it cannot, take the toxins and the acidity out of the cells at an optimal level. So, yeah, there's so much more to say about this, but I think it makes it quite clear how important it is to be properly hydrated and have not just okay water, but the best water for your body and your health. So, yes, like I said, the brain is super sensitive to um, what kind of water you drink. And there's actually a researcher in the US, Dr. Corinne Allen. She's seen very, very clear results, especially with autism and different kind of psychological problems that people have, that there's a huge, um, what do you say, benefit from drinking, especially Kangen water, because it has, all the best levels and certifications and everything. So why is this water so super hydrating for the body? So this goes down to structure and hydration. So when your water runs through the bad pipes and it gets all the bad chemicals in the water kind of clumps up together, and it's not, what do you say? I'm thinking Swedish. Um, it's not able to come into the cells the way it should. So on the picture, you see the green and the yellow, that is the cell membrane. That is the outer part of the cell. And there's something called the aquaporin helix. It's like the place where the water comes into the cell. So if the water is clumped up in these big clusters and not structured properly, it does not enter your cells the way it should. But when there's Kangen water, when there's something called electrolyzed reduced water, which is the medical term for it, the electrical charge actually pushes the molecules away from each other. And this also happens in the blood, so that the blood flows even better. The water flows better, the blood flows better, and then the water can actually enter the aquaporin helix. The blood can enter the aquaporin helix and do its work inside of the cells. And also, if you drink bad water, the body has to use a lot of energy to structure the water and detox you. So it exhausts the system that you like if you don't, filter your water and make it structured, then the body has to be the filter and the body has to struggle to structure it and make it like the right pH and all of that. So when you drink good water and the Kangen water, then you take off this load from your body and the cells and the hydration start to work properly. So then to the next property, which is the antioxidant abilities and how an antioxidant or oxidant something is measured in something called oxidation reduction potential. So this is not pH. This is very different. This is to measure if something has a plus charge or a negative charge. When something has a plus charge, it's oxidant for your body and it's not good for you. And on that side, you can see soda like Coca-Cola and all of that. It's actually on the same level as tap water in oxidant properties for the body, which is bad. And sorry, I haven't turned off my phone. Mm, there we go. Sorry for that. So also both tap water and also bottled water is on the plus side. And just to add to it, the radiation levels is also on the plus side. So when you are exposed to radiation all the time, it also has an oxidant effect in the body. So on the other side, on the minus side, that's where we want to be. That's why, blueberries and vitamin C and vegetables, like all of that, that's why it's healthy for us. Why we're always told to eat your vegetables, etc. It's because it has antioxidant properties that creates more health in our bodies. And if you look at the minus side, if you look at vitamin C and green tea, it might come up to minus 100. And if you look at like good fatty acids and these things, it might go up to minus 300 if you're lucky. But then you see the Kangen water can actually reach over minus 850 in antioxidant properties. So, which means when you drink Kangen water, it's not just clean, it's also healthy for you. You have this constant detox effect happening because the antioxidant properties, it pulls out toxins and acidity and all of that from the body and actually charges the cells so that you are healthy from a cellular level and then out. Um, so just to make it clear for you, if you drink 1 glass of Kangen water, it equals 20 glasses of green tea or 1.5 liters of blueberries in antioxidant properties. And that's where the health aspect comes into this and why it's a very, very powerful health tool that we can have all the time because you drink the water all the time, right? It's not a supplement that you take now and then. It's something that, you carry with you all the time. And it's something when you start drinking it, you sense the difference and you don't want to drink anything else but that. And then what happens in the cells? So this is actually a cell, guys. And these little like loaves, looks like loaves of bread almost, like roaming around. That's actually the mitochondria in the cells. And the mitochondria, they are the engine, like the power engine in your cells. And when you get positively charged tap water or bottled water, it creates oxidative stress and it lowers the energy of the mitochondria. But when you have electrolyzed reduced water, negatively charged water, it's antioxidant and it charges these batteries so that your energy level can rise, so that the cells can actually function properly. And I mean, what is our health? It is our cells. So when we have healthy cells, we are more healthy, right? So that's why a lot of people, including me, when I started drinking the water, I had a detox for a couple of weeks because this negative charge, this antioxidant, it creates some detox in the body. So in the beginning, you can get a little bit of headache, the stomach can rumble around, you can have like the same kind of effects that you have when you're fasting or eating like raw food in the beginning when you're not used to it. But then after the detox, your energy level usually just booms. And that's what I felt like after these couple of weeks, my energy levels were just off the roof. So I talked a little bit about this, but what actually happens in the cells is that the cell starts to breathe. It's better hydration, better uptake of nutrients, detoxification of acidity and waste products, so that the cells return to an optimal state. The negative charge is so important for our nervous system, and it's also important for the cells. The electrolyzed reduced water with the ORP of minus 850 has a very high negative charge, so it will help to restore your cells. And then it activates the mitochondria in the cells, which is the energy battery in your cells. So just to mention the kind of research that exists, because if you go out on Google, there's so many competitors trying to bring us down and like talking outright lies, having fun with everyone is comparing themselves to Enagic and Kangen Water and trying so many different tricks to bring it down because they are the world leading in the industry. They've been around for the longest time, like the top athletes, all of the top people, health people in the world, they drink Kangen water, not anything else. And it has so much research. So look at the facts and not just opinions. And if you want to search yourself on Google Scholar or PubMed, you can search for electrolyzed reduced water or molecular hydrogen. And you can see that there's research that shows improvement in humans and animals in over 170 different disease states. And there's also lots of research on the disinfecting properties of the acidic water, which is used in industries, for farmers, in many different places. And one of the main properties that this water has that has a huge medical effect is the molecular hydrogen. Because, like I said, molecular hydrogen is a powerful antioxidant, and it's also something that appears naturally in these most powerful springs that are very rare across the world. And our technology mimics those springs so that the water is full of molecular hydrogen, and it has beneficial effects both as a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. It has a negative charge that helps the body detoxify and remove acidic waste. It's stimulation of glucose and energy metabolism, like the the gut and the stomach issues. It has beneficial properties there. It has huge potential in athletic performance and increased recovery, because when you are exercising really hard, it creates oxidative stress in the body. And this counteracts this oxidative stress, which means that you have increased recovery. It's also protection against brain trauma and positive effects for people with cognitive disabilities, such as autism, and positive effects on many age-related problems. And I'm, a science teacher by profession, so I like to kind of do stuff on my own and do some experiments. This is some of the tests that we have done ourselves, where we have tested the water before and after, where we have well water here on the farm. and we could see remnants of pesticides. We could see heavy metals in the water. It was quite acidic. And then after going through the machine, there were no remnants at all. It was perfect water. And I've also done tests of my blood where with a professional where he was amazed of that I had no blood clotting in my blood. And when I told him, because he was quite aware that I'd been drinking Kangen water for many years, then he understood why that was. And we've also tried the molecular hydrogen ourselves, where the level should be over zero point 0.5 to have a medical effect. And we have seen numbers of between 1 and zero point 0.8 in the best machines that we have. And like I said, there are lots of top athletes using especially Kangen water because they understand the power of hydration, antioxidant properties, all of these different things. So these are just some of the athletes that use Kangen water. And the last property is the alkalized water. So it's not alkaline. This is the common misconception. I've even had people worried that, oh, if I drink too much of the water, it can affect me negatively because it's alkaline. Even in some bad research studies that are actually made by competitors, they compare alkalized water with alkaline water, which is completely wrong. So alkaline is when bad water is you pour in different minerals like magnesium or baking soda, these kind of things into the water to make it alkaline. This is a completely different chemistry than what we have here. And in that case, in using those alkaline chemicals, that can disturb the natural pH and the balance of the body. But alkalized water is the process in the machine where you're producing molecular hydrogen into the body. And what molecular hydrogen does is that it's a completely different chemical process where you can never drink too much of the water and it will not affect your pH in a negative way because molecular hydrogen will go into the cells, balance the pH of your cells, and then it will not do anything else. So this is very important. It cannot be too much of this water. So let's look at the different pH levels of this water and the different ways that you can use this water because it's not just for drinking. Like I said, there's so many different properties and ways to use this. I just need to drink some water myself. So, like I said, there is strong acidic water. It's not for drinking, but that you can use for disinfection. So, this is actually used by dentists, by hospitals. We just had a farmer here in Sweden, a milk farmer, try it out for cows, and she had exactly the same results, like good result with just using this water for her milk cows. So it actually takes even more than usual disinfectants. So it has also a lot of research on it, this 2.5, and it creates hypochloric acid is the medical name if you want to research it or do some of your own research on what it is. And then there's the water that is the pH 6. And this is called beauty water because it's very beneficial for our skin, for our hair, and certain plants love this kind of water as well. So our skin and our hair actually has a lower pH. And to be in balance, you need to restore those uh, your skin and your hair to that pH level. And then this water has really helped a lot of people with especially skin problems and and hair problems. And there's even a shower unit that Enagic has that I'm going to talk about that has this water specifically. You can also get it from the machine. Yes, so here is the shower unit that Enagic has also created, which is called Anespa, because they understand that your skin is one of the body's largest organs. And when you swim and bathe in chlorinated or low quality water, you can also absorb the chemicals through your skin. So the Anespa removes the impurities from the water through a filter. And it also adds tourmaline and different minerals to the water to be like the onsens. That is the Japanese hot springs that actually also recognized in Japan for its different health benefits. So in that way, you don't absorb chemicals and through your skin, and you also give your body, your skin and the outer part of your body the best water to shower and bathe in. Then there is water called neutral water that has the pH 7. It doesn't have the Kangen effects, so it's only purified water and it's neutral pH. And when you take food, when you take medicine, it's good to drink the pH 7 because otherwise the Kangen water can actually strengthen the effects of the medication. It can also sometimes interact with the stomach acid. So it's better to not take Kangen water with food and medicine than you take pH 7. And then there's the Kangen water that we've talked about that comes in three different pH levels, which is 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5. And this is for everything, like for your drinking, for your cooking. It also, when you do tea and coffee, it actually brings out the flavors even more. You can even put tea into cold Kangen water, and the tea will actually dissolve in the water. There are lots of you know, demonstrations of this online if you want to look at it. And that is because of the structure in the water that actually goes into the food and into the tea and coffee and makes the flavors come out as well. But why you have these different levels of pH is because when you start drinking the water, you start with 8.5 because you can have these detoxifying effects like the antioxidant effect is so great that your body might go through some detoxing in the beginning. And then when it's okay to drink 8.5, you can go up to 9 and then 9.5. And then you just drink 9.5 after that. Then there is pH 11.5, which is strong Kangen water. And this is actually something that you can clean and emulsify with. So this is not for drinking either, but for instance, when you have vegetables that you want to clean, it might be remnants of pesticides or toxins from the air. You never know where these vegetables have been. You can put them in the 11.5 water and it will take away these remnants of glycosphats or whatever's on them, which is super important also to have good food that is not full of toxins in our as our diet, right? You can also clean with it. We have it as a kitchen cleaner and just in a spray. In that way, you also remove from your household a lot of different chemicals that are not good for you. Um, yeah, so that is the strong Kangen water. Yes, that is all about the water, guys. And now we're moving on to the different products that Enagic has. So the main thing is the water, but they're also opening up like step by step with more and more products. It's even almost every year now, they've had another product that they want to bring to the market that has the same kind of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory protects you against toxins. So they're moving into being a wellness company altogether to create this full, um, wellness on all levels in your life. So one of the powerful supplements that they have is a turmeric extract called Yukon. And this Yukon is also grown organically. It's grown in Kangen water in Okinawa in Japan. And it's also this kind of honoring their tradition. It's been a tradition for probably thousands of years to use turmeric in Japan. And it's rich in curcumin, which you can also read about on all the studies made on that on Google Scholar and PubMed. And curcumin helps to reduce inflammation, improve your digestion, and strengthen the immune system altogether. And Enagic has a patent on the actual capsule of the Yukon, which makes the Yukon not come in contact with air. Because what happens when Yukon comes in contact with air, if you buy just a bottle of turmeric from the store, the antioxidant properties will not be as strong. So what they've done is they have this capsule and they also have different minerals and oils that makes the Yukon, the turmeric, actually be more absorbed into your body as well. Yes, so that was the Yukon. The next product, like I said, which I'm so proud of Enagic for, is that they are counteracting the negative effects of constant EMF exposure. So EMF means electromagnetic frequencies, and that those kind of fields are growing and growing. There are more and more of this electromagnetic smog around us, especially in the cities. And these fields, you can't really see them. So many people don't even think about them, but you can actually measure them with the right equipment. And this daily exposure to all of these electromagnetic fields that come from smartphones or Wi-Fi routers or electrical products or computers or phones can really disrupt both your sleep patterns. It can cause fatigue. It can lead to brain fog. There's also lots of research about the negative effects of EMF exposure, where one of the main things is that, like we talked about before, it causes oxidative stress again in the body, which is not healthy for us. And according to the research, if you're exposed to this EMF for a long period of time, it's been linked to stress levels increasing, heart issues, anxiety, weakened immunity, and potential long-term health concerns. So, one of the things that I've seen with people using the M-Guard, because it's quite a new product, it's been around now for around 1.5 years, and I have it with me everywhere in my car, in my office. You can just take it with you wherever you go. I've even been flying with it. When I went to San Diego last to the NAGI convention, I had the M-Guard with me on the flight. And actually, when I came to the US, I didn't have what do you call it when you fly and you get kind of tired and oh, well, anyway, you know what I mean. So I was like completely fresh when I came to the US. I was, I didn't experience that flight being that bad at all. So, especially people that are pregnant or children and individuals with chronic health issues may be especially vulnerable to these harmful effects. And the M Guard is, as everything that Enagic does, it is well researched. It has 7 years of university research on it. You can measure it, which is a huge thing, I believe. I've had lots of different kind of EMF protection. I've not seen anything that you can measure in this way. And the M-Guard acts as a protective barrier where it neutralizes harmful EMF exposure in your home, office, and your personal environment. So this is to safeguard your family's well-being and really come into creating that good environment also in your home. So it creates almost like a bubble of 8 meters in diameter around you. So it's good that you can carry it with you wherever you go. So just a little this demo of the M-Guard. So I don't think you can hear the sound here, but this is me in my Tesla, and I have the M-Guard on. And you see that the meter, I'm measuring with the meter, and it's down on 0. So when the M guard is on, it's on 0, and then I take it out. Now it's not on, and you see the radiation levels going up to 2,700, even 2,900. And then I put it back in, goes down to 0, nothing. And this is a meter that measures the range up to 1 gigahertz because that's the range where our physical organs are most affected. So the M guard protects the range, the frequency range that is the most important to protect for our organs in the body. So in that way, I remember when I bought my Tesla, because I've always wanted a Tesla, whatever people think about it. I love just being able to go anywhere and it's like free charge. And people were like, oh, you're going to lose your hair. There's so much radiation. It's dangerous. Don't do it. And then I saw that yes, there is radiation in the car, and I learned that there's radiation in most cars. It's not just Teslas. It's so many, like if you would measure any kind of car, it's quite a lot of radiation. But then when I have the M Guard with me there, I know that even though I go into a city, even though I'm driving long hours with the car, I'm not exposed to those negative effects of the EMF. So now we're concluding the different products that we're working with. That is kind of the engine of the whole movement and the company. So this is called the Quad. These are the 4 products that has the full package for both your health. And then we're going to go into why it's also, if you're more interested of the business side, why it's also beneficial for creating wealth to have the Quad. Oh, sorry. Mm. And the quad is both the water ionizer, it's the M-Guard, it's the Anespa and the Yukon. And in that way, you're constantly detoxing, you're constantly working against the oxidative stress and the inflammation, all of that, both in your environment and also through not affecting your body negatively and then giving it what it needs to actually restore itself to balance. So, what this package and what these products do is that they go to the root of so many of our health problems. So, it's almost like a natural health insurance even before these different problems appear, right? So, yes. That is what we work with. Those are the products that we're very proud to represent and work with. And just a little summary of the Nagic and the products. It's very well researched and lots of certifications. The only technology with a medical grade certification in Japan. It's got solid medical grade plates and patented technology, high and stable levels of molecular hydrogen and ORP without chemical additives, which is very important. And the company is stable, debt-free, and family-owned, 50-year-old company with a 400-year business plan. And it's got a well-established global network of offices and support serving its independent distributors, and well-established ethical values with a vision of supporting physical, mental, and financial health to spread across the world and change people's lives for the better. So the slogan for Enagic is actually change your water, change your life. And also now they're moving into change your environment, change your life. And it's actually a very real thing that we're working with, even though, like, when I looked at this, I was like, oh, it must be too good to be true. Like, there must be a hook somewhere. There's something strange. And then after a while, it's like, there's no hook. This is actually a win-win. It's a good thing. It's something that both benefits the users and it also benefits the company. Like, it's a win for everyone involved. And just to move back to what are we working with here? How can we build this thriving life? And why do we take care of things on different levels here? So now we talked about health, right? You have to have a healthy body, healthy environment to be able to move to the next level, right? And you also need financial strength and financial health to be able to build this foundation so we can move forward. And these solutions go to the root of our problems on multiple levels of our life so that we finally can live in health, in peace, and achieve true self-actualization. And now we're moving into the business model and how we can create another path of actually putting food on the table and making our dreams and visions a reality, right? So, what does then financial health mean? And I think you can all think about, like, how has financial stress affected you? I think most of us have experienced that in our life, and it's actually one of the biggest reasons why couples divorce. It's a huge, I mean, psychological pressure that is put on so many people, even, um, want to end their lives because of, financial ruin, or it's a lot of like honor, and it's got to do with these like fear of death, right? To be honest. And a lot of people stay in that first level of just being in fight and flight and just trying to survive. And what kind of world do we have then if everyone is in fight and flight mode and can't move on to the next level? Then we see a lot of chaos. We see a lot of burnout. We see a lot of families just splitting and children being, just hurt in the middle of it all. So it's a very real problem that we need to address, and it's something that where we need another solution, right? We can't just move on. Like, we thought, me and my husband, that, oh, if we just run faster, if we have a company, if we do this, we do that, we can come out of this rat race. That wasn't the case. We were just running faster and faster. And until we were just like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's like completely rethink this, how we make a living. And what we found and how we do this is actually quite simple. When you own one of Enagic's products or multiple, like the quad, there's a trifecta, which is 3 units. But basically, you own one of their products and you tap into their high ticket offer, their huge compensations that they give to the users of the machines. And so a lot of the time when I present this, people say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have the energy. I don't have the health. But in order to actually get your time, your money, and your health back, you must first be willing to invest both time and money. Because if you're not changing it, you're letting it continue. Like where we started, me and my husband, we were more like, we cannot continue for 10 more years. We're going to completely burn out. And Like we're not going to be able to see our kids, or we're not going to be able to be there for anyone if we don't take care of ourselves first. So we chose something else, and we invested loads of time and money because we knew as entrepreneurs that if you don't think in the terms of investments of time and money, you're not going to get a return on investment. So this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs, they know and they've seen it, where, I'm still expanding in that kind of mindset of like actually this year I've invested so much to upgrade my business, into my podcast, into, having assistance, having like all the support that I need to actually take it to the next level. And guess what? I am going to the next level because I do invest all the time. Like I keep on investing into my business. So why is this the ultimate offer? Why did we choose this and not, all the other offers that are out there? So what we saw here is that you have leveraged income versus linear income. So what does that mean? It means that with automation, with working as a team, with getting support from amazing mentors, you can have an exponential growth in your business instead of when you work the 9 to 5, or even when you're an entrepreneur, money usually comes in and then goes out, and you might save a little on the side, right? But you don't have that leverage, meaning, you know, where what do you say? Yeah, where you can actually, with less effort, you can get much, much more. And we also work with products and services that people want, they need, and they usually completely love it. It's a model that supports people, planet, and profit. It doesn't have to be in opposition. You can actually do good, good, good all the way, like win, win, win. And it's a high ticket offer versus low ticket, meaning you get a lot in return instead of hassling and like contacting family and friends and hassling everyone to get the next potion or lotion or whatever. And it's an already established offer, so you don't need to wear all the hats. You don't need to invent the product or do all the different steps. It's positioned within the trillion dollar health and wellness industry, which is growing. So people are becoming more aware of their health. They're becoming more aware of stress levels and choosing another way of life, where they don't just give away their life to something they don't believe in, right? And what we have here is that Enagic actually offers 50% commissions back to its users. And if you see anything like that, like let me know. I've not seen anything like that before. And it also means that Enagic, instead of taking that 50% and spending it on middle hands or, different retail stores or marketing, all of that, they've taken that budget and they've chosen to believe in the people that actually use the water. So you kind of have to have the water machine, you have to drink the water and experience it for you to be able to promote it to others, which is a beautiful thing, which means that you can invest into your machines and then actually get the machines for free. And then it's just a plus. Okay. And of course, it's no promise, but the possibility is there that you can actually earn everything back and then earn it's just a plus from there. And there's no losing your rank. It's not a pyramid scheme. A lot of people think that it's not something where you have to sell hundreds of products every month. It's like super low requirements with an Enagic. And basically, you own a machine, you tap into the business. That's basically it. And just to kind of compare, because it is an a marketing model where we have networking elements, but it's not a traditional MLM. And this is very, very different from a traditional MLM. So in traditional MLM, you have monthly quotas. Here you have no quotas. In the traditional way, you lose your rank if you don't perform. Here you can never lose your rank. In the traditional way, it's 20 to 150 per sale. Here you can get 400 to 7,000, and this is in dollars, guys. In the traditional way, there you have to have auto ships and regular product purchases. Here you don't need that. You can have Yukon on an auto ship to grow even faster and even more, but it's not a requirement. Um, the old way is low ticket. Here's high ticket. It's no legacy income compared to generational wealth building, which we're going to come into, which is kind of mind-blowing. That what you create here is willable to your kids. You can come to huge levels of commissions where you never have to work ever in your life again. There are no licensing fees, and instead of recruiting, you're attracting people into this business. So, to get into the Enagic patented 8-point model, so this took Enagic around 2 years to develop. It's very ethical. It's also a bit complicated, so I won't go like too much into depth, but we have videos explaining it more in depth for you if you want to see that. But the 8-point model basically means that Enagic knows that for every product that they sell, there are 8 pieces of commission that is being distributed to the Enagic distributors. And depending on how many sales that you and your team, those that you also recruited in, depending on how many sales you've done together, you get more and more of these pieces of commission. So you start in something called the 1A lane, where the first 2 sales, you get 285 euros in commission. And after that, you rank up. So you come into the 2A lane, which is between 3 and 10 sales. And here, all of the sales in your organization is included. So the sales done by you and the ones that you have brought into the business, they're also counting as long as there are these 8 points left of commission. So for each level, you get one more piece of commission. And this is the commissions for the KH. They vary between the different products. But here you see that between 3 and 10 sales, you get 570 euros. Between 11 and 20, you're in 3A and you get 855 euros. Between 21 and 50 sales, you're in 4A and you get 1,140 euros. In 5A, between 51 and 100 sales, you get 1,425. And over 100 sales, it's 1,710 euros. And the first time I reached 6A, we have several 6A accounts today, we found around 15 people directly. And some of them just wanted to drink the water. Some of them were like, woohoo, I want to create this business. Like, and they just ran with it. And we supported each other. We were traveling around. We were doing webinars. We were doing launches online. Like, we were just shouting from the rooftops, like, have a look at this. And I was from the beginning, it's like, I don't know all the details, but I love what I see here. I love the stories I hear from the team. I love to see like mothers and door-to-door salesmen or you know raw food cafe owners, like all these kind of people just completely shift their lives and reality and with this kind of model. And now I've seen it for myself as well after these 6 years. But also with the right strategy, you can actually receive all the 8 points of commission, meaning that for one machine, you get 2,280 euros for one sale. And then remember, like this is counting low, since what I said before, a lot of people buy quads or trifectas or have different strategies from the start to either get the full health benefits. I even had a woman buy 6 units the other day. I have many that bought five because they want to give it to their family, or they want to lend out a machine to people that really need it, or they want to try the water. So there are lots of different strategies and plans. Or if you just start with one machine, that's fine as well. The best way is to just contact the person that invited you, and you can sit down and do the best strategy for you if it's for your health or if you want to do business with it, and just look at the different details and prices, etc. So here is the leverage effect. And, there's much more to say here, but let's say that the first level here is when you make a sale directly to someone else. So let's say that you started with a trifecta. Let's say that your first sale that you're making in 2A. So that is a strategy where from the start you get 2 pieces of commission. And you're in 2A and you introduce this to Lisa. And Lisa has a huge network and she goes out to sell 7 machines. What happens then is the leverage effect, where you found the right person. You didn't have to find hundreds of thousands of people. You just found one person that ran with it and she understood it. And she told all her friends. And she sold 7 machines. And because Lisa is in your 2A lane, you will receive 570 euros, 2 pieces of commission for all of her sales as well, which means 570 euros times 7 for you, which means 3,990 euros, where you're basically supporting someone else to succeed. And then you also get the benefit from this leverage effect. So this system duplicates through what we call the indirect sales, which is the lower part of this chart. And then imagine, placing someone in your 6A lane, or even having the strategy where you get all the 8 points of commission. Imagine what you get then. So, I mean, this is just the first start, and then it just expands over the years. And all of the sales in your whole team counts towards this. And once you reach 6A, that's when you open up the long-term legacy income. So Enagic just gives back massively to those that are dedicated to Enagic. And of course, just a disclaimer, you need to take the steps to make this happen. Not everyone succeeds with this. You have to run it professionally as a business, be coachable, take the steps, etc. But this is the possibility for everyone that gets started, and no promises can, of course, be made. It's like getting a franchise. You need to run it, right? You'll have the support and everything, but you need to hands-on run your own business. So once you reach 6A, the first time, you get 2,550 euros as a one-time bonus, like thank you from Enagic. And after that, what Enagic rewards is that you support others to also reach this leadership level of 6A. So once you have 2 more people in your team, or that you yourself have 2 more Enagic accounts, or like you can own all these 3 yourself, or you have someone in your team also become 6A, you come to the level of 6A2, where you get a bonus of 5,100 bonus. So now we're like just talking about one-time bonuses for what we call ranking up into these different levels. And then it's like a tree branching out. So once you have one more level of 6As, you're 6A2-2, where you get 10,200 euros as a one-time bonus. And once it's branched out again into three levels below you of these 6As, you come to the level of 6A2-3. That's where it gets really, really exciting because at dash three, you get a one-time bonus, 20,400, but you actually get a monthly bonus for life. And that is just beginning at 3,500 euros. Then there's many more bonuses that I'm not even mentioning, like quarterly bonuses, monthly bonuses, educational bonuses, leadership bonuses. Like there's so many more bonuses, and I'm not even talking about the 8 uh, points that I was talking about before. Of course, you get continue to get those as well. But when you come to 6A2-3, that's when you get this 3,500 monthly for the rest of your life, whatever happens, willable to your kids. Okay. So for me, I'm kind of a disbeliever in the like current system, honestly. I would rather, spend whatever years it will take me. Actually, we're really closing in on this level right now. If I would spend 10 years to get there, I would do that without a doubt. Because then I'm creating my own wealth, not just for me, but for my family and for generations to come, which is huge. That means sovereignty for me. That means freedom. That means generational freedom for me and my family. And I could have stayed as a teacher, worked for 40 years, and never ever come to that. So it's a matter of choice to where we put our energy and time to what we want to create long term here. And then it doesn't stop there. The next level is 40,800 one-time bonus, 7,000 monthly for life. After that, 81,600 one-time bonus, 50,000, oh, sorry, 10,500 monthly. And it actually goes on. I don't have the numbers here. It goes on to dash six, that dash seven. The highest rank you can achieve is dash eight. And that's actually no one is dash eight at the time in Enagic, but we have actually our top mentor, Romy Verdera, is just about to come there, which, yeah, then you are financially free. Then you're really financially sovereign when you come to this. And lots of people that come to these levels, they give back to their communities. They, build churches or they build retreat centers, health centers. They help dogs that are stray dogs and build, homes for them. Like there's so much good happening. If you put this kind of good money into good people's hands, there's so much good that can be done for it. So, like I said, there are different strategies like the quad model if you want to fast track to get more return on your investment. So the benefits of the quad, if you're looking at this from a business perspective, like we came in and said, like, give us the best model, we want the best kind of start. We bought the quad from the start, and we also made a lot of commissions back very fast from that. So it both means that you start with often the cheapest product, like in this case, it's the Anespa, and then you actually sell the machines to yourself, which means that you, from the start, get 780 euros in commission back to yourself from selling yourself both the machines and the Yukon. So it's like a bonus from Enagic, you could say, for getting this package for yourself. And if you then continue to sell quads to other people, the first 5 quads that you sell will actually give you a return on investment of 14,940 euros, which means you've actually paid back your initial investment already there. It's probably even a bit less of an investment, depending on what kind of quad that you decide on. You can actually choose any kind of products that you want for yourself and your health. You can replace one of these with the M-Guard. You can have even 5 units if you want to still be able to loan out a machine. So all of these kind of strategy talk is better to have one-on-one on a call. And the next 6 quad sales, 11 in total, you'll have 20,750 euros in commission. So that's where we're talking about high ticket and not just struggling along with this low ticket kind of regular MLMs. So this means that you need another 7 sales to make 100K in commissions in total, meaning 18 times the quad sales. So, and this might kind of feel hard in the beginning that how am I going to find these people? Like, how am I going to run this business? And we're getting to that. Like, we have education, we have systems in place that can support you to actually do this as a business. But this is just the potential of actually having a strategy or having a strategy talk with the person that invited you, with what we call your mentor. You will be personally mentored by that person also moving into the business so that you have the support you need to set everything up. So, like I said, how do you then create this? How do we work? Like, how do we become what we call a freedompreneur? What do we do to thrive and also make a positive impact at the same time? Like, we have so many kind of mindset blocks as around money. Like, money is shameful, it's not, it's egoistical, like it's all the bad people in the movies that have money, right? Like we're so indoctrinated to not have money. If you ask me, when you thrive, when you are completely healthy and wealthy, you can make so much positive impact both in your life and other people's lives. And you can be independent and sovereign, and you can build that kind of um, treasure chest to just be free, right? So, this is exactly how we work and how we do this. Both we have a global community this is from our Wild and Free festival that we had in Stockholm a couple of years ago. And there was amazing people from all over the world where we all support each other. Like we all shared, had beautiful speakers this whole weekend where we all connect and collaborate to create this positive impact, to support each other and create a new paradigm. So there's a lot of awareness, a lot of heart, a lot of impact-driven people in our community that have knowledge both about health, but also about creating wealth. So basically, the most usual way to do this is that we work through social media, either through organic networks, which means in the social media you already have, or you run ads like advertisements on Google, on YouTube, on Facebook. Of course, you can also do it belly to belly, like the old way of just connecting to people in your network, this and that. It's not as scalable. What we've seen really works and why we're actually the top team in Enagic in the whole world that we are a part of is this kind of work to work through the internet where we can reach thousands and thousands of people. So basically, what we do, we have a huge outreach. People see what we do, they like what we do, they get interested, and they join a masterclass like the one you're watching right now. And they get the information about who we are, what we do, the products, everything they need Those that are interested, they are able to book a strategy call, a free strategy call, where you and in the beginning also your mentor or even a sales team, like some platforms that we work with, they have that all done for you as well. They book a call and then we make the personal strategy, like I talked about. Is it a quad? Is it one machine? How much financing do you have? Do you need financing? Like there are financing options as well. And we do that strategy for the person in front of us. They invest in their own products. When they invest, you get an Enagic ID, a special number that where Enagic knows that when you then refer someone else, you get the commission. So when you invest into your products, you're actually opening up this global business for yourself. And you activate this distributor ID that you're going to use in your business. And then when you just like rinse and repeat this process where you can also go into our educational platforms, into our Facebook groups, our mentorships, like all there are different ways of doing this, which we're going to sit down and strategize around for you. When you then launch and receive the mentorship inside of our platform, if you are coachable, you're willing to invest the time and the money to do this in a serious way, that's when you launch your own business and you can just rinse and repeat this process. And that is basically the engine that drives this vehicle that we have for people to just create their own path. And like I said, this is not for everyone. I do turn people down sometimes. Like maybe you should wait and just get these kind of things in order, before you start. It's not often, but it's very important that you are dedicated, that you're willing, that you resonate with what we do here. But if you do, if you have the willingness, if you resonate with it, if you really believe and have the vision, like I said, it's a lot about mindset and not stepping in your own way or believing, the ones that don't have the results or different posts you see online, or like you have to kind of make a stand for something. You have to believe that I want to stand for like going to the root of the problems and creating real wealth and health. If you resonate with that, it doesn't really matter where you're at in your life. There are actually ways that you can do this, starting from like scratch, nothing, to like investing in the full best package. So there's everything in between there if you get just on a call with us and we can discuss the different options for you. And I think an important question is where do you want to be 5 years from now? Because a lot of people are stuck in this fight and flight, right? When you're stuck into fight and flight, like I said, I've actually researched about this, you can't think long term. You think that you just need to survive. You need to fight the tigers away. You need to put out the fires. And I don't have time to think long term. Well, guess what? If you're not going to stop and like take a breather and like, oh my God, this isn't working. Like, I need to actually think long term. I need to work on the long term plan to get somewhere, someplace new. Then you're probably just going to continue the way you've done before. Because this is not just a business that you will move into, it's actually a movement to change also your mindset, also what you think is possible for yourself, and support you to change your life so that we together can actually, family by family, men and women, men and women, like one at a time, make a better world. And your life can actually shift from making your decision to choosing another path, because it might be hard to believe when you're not there. I know that because I started off somewhere too. Like I started off thinking like, oh my God, this is scary. Am I going to make it? Like I can see all these people before me that have made it. But you're insecure and you hear maybe your spouse or a well-meaning friend or whatever come to you and say like, oh no, it's a scam. I read something online or this is bad, but they don't have the results that you want to have, right? In this community, we have people that have already done it, that have the results, that have the freedom, that have the health, that have the choice to do something else with their lives. So you also need to kind of decide who you're listening to in this process, where I'm so grateful and happy that I did dare to make that choice, where me and my husband said that when we looked through this, like this is a no-brainer, like high ticket commissions and a beautiful community where you get all the support and then something we believe in, firing it all up, which now today, 6 years later, we're actually living that vision, like living on our farm, having time with our kids. We've been traveling the world. We've now dedicated just to support as many people as possible to be free as well, to be sovereign and to be free. And the realization is you have to be super honest and just, realize that nothing changes if nothing changes. That you do need to step into not just taking orders from someone else. It's a mindset shift of being sovereign, meaning I'm in charge of my life. I decide who I want to be. I decide the life that I want to create. I'm not going to wait around for someone else to decide what I'm going to do with my life and what I'm here to do. Because I believe we all have so much greatness within us. We have so much to give, every single one of us. In our team, it's actually called the Omni Community Team. The slogan is Shine Your Light, because when you come above just surviving and thriving, you can start to live a real life. You can start to shine. You can start to give. You can start to experience your life fully. And the more that do that, guess what happens? We get to live a more beautiful life together. And really huge thank you for listening. If you feel that something resonates with everything that we talked about, really contact the person that invited you. We're all excited just to talk to people. It doesn't matter, like we're not going to hard sell you or anything like that. You can also learn a lot I have a YouTube channel called The Sovereign Free Life. If you ask the person that invited you, they might give you a link to go through more details about what we talked about. So you can book a free strategy call where we can look at exactly where are you at, where do you want to go, how can we make a plan for that to happen. And in the end, we need to start to believe, guys, that there is a greater vision, that really ask yourself, what would your life look like if you got to choose, if you got to be free, if you got to actually experience the fullness of your life, which I believe that's what we're here to create. That's what we're here to do. We're not meant to just survive. We are here to live a full life and be happy and fulfilled and thrive. And something that I repeated to myself when I got started, it was like, okay, if all of these other people can do it from all these different backgrounds, then I can too. Like, why wouldn't I be able to do it? If, like, another teacher or a cowboy girl from Australia that never touched social media, or coaches and parents, like all these kind of people have, like these are actually real people on the pictures here from our community of people that have created this for themselves. So I just said, if they can do it, I have to be able to do it. And I just kept repeating that and I was coachable. I really learned, I implemented, I challenged myself. And now today I am actually living that life. So guys, that was everything. And I know it was a long presentation, but I did give you the warning. I said this would be a deep, deep dive, and there's actually even more. Like it's a big rabbit hole. Like if you want to go into science, if you want to go into, like, we have lots of testimonials, we have resource sites, we have scientific summary. Like there's so much that you can go down into. But I hope this has given you like the full picture right now, and then we're happy to assist you if you have any more questions or if you want to dive deeper into any of these areas. So huge, huge thank you guys for being with me today, and hope to see you inside of the team really soon and talk to you later. Thank you.